Sharing with you in this video 3 ways to master discipline, to master your life. I really believe that no matter what you want to create in your life, whether it's more success, whether it's more abundance, whether it's having a job happen in a particular type of way, whether it's having a relationship happen in your life in a particular type of way, whatever it is that your heart wants to create, what I believe that a lot of people try to do is they try to control those things. They try to control and manipulate the external world, the outputs that are happening in their life. But what I want to record this video for is to make it very abundantly clear that external things happening in a particular type of way are never going to be within your control. And instead, the most powerful thing to do is to focus on the discipline in your life, the variables that you can actually control. So it is the action, it is the discipline, and it is how you show up in your life. And so the first way to master your discipline, to master your life, is to have an understanding, to have a deep level understanding that your thoughts alone will not make you disciplined. Changing just your intentions alone is not going to be enough. Just changing how you think is not going to be enough. So if you really want to master your discipline, you're going to have to become an action-oriented person. So it has to become part of your subconscious. It has to become part of how you naturally take action. You can change all of your thinking for the rest of your life, but if you don't back it up with action, if you don't back it up with actual change in your life, actual behavior level change, what's going to happen is you could be stuck in a loop of thinking your intentions for the rest of your life, but yet you're in a state of stagnated and stuck energy. Like you're not moving, there's no movement in your life. To get into a state of movement, oftentimes you'll find that it requires very little thinking at all, like if any. You don't have to think. Like, let me ask you this. When you're in a consistent state of action, when you're really in the flow, do you have to think to do this? Is there any thinking required? Now, maybe there was lots of planning required for sure, but then once you're in the state, and I guess I'm kind of asking a rhetorical question, answering as I'm asking it, but it's like, did you have to think to do that? Was there any thinking involved? And so the answer to me is, of course, no. It doesn't require any thinking at all to take action at all. But then how do we make it so that at least the actions that we're taking are the ones that we want, the ones that we desire, which will most likely lead to the result that we're looking for? It's by changing your subconscious. So of course that starts with thinking. Of course that starts with planning. Of course that starts with structure. But then the biggest component that nobody wants to follow through with is I kind of said it in the answer, it's the follow through. It's the trust within yourself. It's the action. Action requires follow through, which leads me to the second thing that I want to share with you in this video is to really have an understanding that you have to let go of the intention. So to be able to create what you want is not that difficult. It's just that we get stuck on our intentions. We get stuck on what we want. And if you get stuck on what you want, the irony of it all is that it's going to be very, very difficult to be able to create, to drop it into reality, so to speak. Because reality is, you want to take all your thoughts, you want to take your thinking, you want to take your planning, and then sort of, again, drop it into physical reality. And to drop it into physical reality, it is a becoming. It is a becoming, and becoming is letting go of intention. It's letting go of the planning. It's actually to actually become it, to actually do it, to actually embody it, and to actually embody something that is action oriented. That's you being in the flow. That is a state of being. It's not about thinking. It's where you can get into such a strong state of being connected to this present moment that your thoughts drop into reality faster than the average person. So basically what you have to do here is the technique that I invite you to try to do is when you have an intention, just try to immediately let it go. Just let it go. And then maybe thinking, well, why would I let go? What I want? Am I going to forget about it? Like, why would I forget about my intention? It's like, of course, you want to hold it in your mind's eye. You want to think about it 24/7. But what I find is that at some point it's just redundant. Like, you already know what you want. Your heart already knows. You know exactly what you want. And you think that if you drop your ego, that everything in your life is going to fall apart and you're going to forget all of it. And it's not. It's really not. You have to trust that some deep part of you, your subconscious, like the way that you are in your life and your true state of being, your presence, your awareness, will absolutely know what you have to do to get what you want. Like, you're not going to forget about it. Just trust that, you know what I mean? Just trust it. Like, your heart already knows. Like, whatever you want to define your heart as, I say your heart is your true connectedness to your state of being and your presence. Like, you will know what you want. You know, don't think that you're going to forget. You have to let go of the intention to then even give yourself the opportunity to embody what you want in your life, to become it. Stop trying to make what you want happen. You know, stop trying to make it happen. Trying is a state of being, but it's a state of being that's not really connected to your being. It's a state of being that's more involved in thinking. You're overthinking. Overthinking is an interesting set of words because it can be a real thing. You can use your thinking, you can use your mind, but you can definitely overthink. And this is what most people do, is they overthink, they overanalyze, they overuse the tool of their mind, and then they never get into a state of being. Excuse me, to get into a state of being, you have to just let go of the intention, let go of the desire, let go of the intention, let go of wanting it, and then just do what you have to do to get it. Be the person that has it. Be, of course, within reason and within logic and respect and honor of yourself and the others and the external world, but just be it. Just be it on a consistent basis. Stop thinking about it. Stop trying to make it happen. Just let go of the intention and then take action consistently. And so finally, what I want to share in this video to conclude is really to have an awareness that recharging is not letting go. So there's going to come a point where when you're extremely focused on something and you have a high commitment to create something, you have a very strong desire to create something, you might be taking consistent action, maybe daily action. Maybe you're taking multiple hours of action per day. Like, there's lots of effort that you're putting into something. What you want to start to realize is that you have to be aware that eventually you are going to reach a point of burnout, of you've maximized the use of your batteries, you've maximized your energy storage, like you just have no more action to take. So this is going to happen. You know, this is going to happen. This is something you have to be aware of. This is something you want to have proper expectations for, because I believe that the reason why most people fail in their life is because they have improper expectations of usually the way that things play out. And then so because they have improper expectations, they're not setting themselves up for success to see the potential challenges and risks that are most likely going to happen in their life. So understand that when this point of exhaustion starts to reach, eventually what you want to start to do and realize is that you have to let go of forcing your way in. So there's a different perspective to discipline that I have to share with you here. Yes, it's about using all of your energy stores until the very last second. Of course, I want to invite you to master just that aspect of discipline alone, is to take so much action that you have nothing left within you. That's a very good place to be. But remember that when that happens, part of discipline is to be able to know when it's time to stop and to recharge, and to understand that doesn't mean you're not less disciplined. It doesn't mean that you're not just as committed to the vision. It doesn't mean that you don't want to create what you want, but you have to let it go in that moment. You have to let go. You have to rest. Like, no matter how committed you are, no matter how focused you are on something, the highest chance you have of getting it in your life is to just completely let it go and focus on something else. And it's the biggest paradox of all. You know, this is why it's good to not put all your eggs into one basket. This is why I believe the most successful people have multiple sources of income, because no matter how much you want something, and yes, it is true, focusing on one thing in your life is going to give you a good chance to create it. But remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything in your life. So you can multitask, you can have multiple businesses, but don't let your capacity from one thing leach into the other thing. And however you want to see it, I really believe that from the bottom of my heart, no matter how much you want something, even if you make it your number one focus, even if it's your number one desire, even if you cut out everything in your life to create this thing, when you're at that point of exhaustion, you have to let it go and focus on something else. Whether it's sleep, whether it's spending time with your family, whether it's finding another task to do. You could just sleep for 10 hours. You could do nothing. What it could be meditation. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have to let it go. You have to let it go, and then you're going to understand that that's going to help you to be more disciplined in the long run. That's going to help you to be more committed, because discipline is not about sprinting for 7 days in a row. Like if you just maximally sprint right now and push your energy 100% to the max, how long can you do that for? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, eventually you're going to burn out. And then so to be stronger next time that you decide to do that you decide to push all the way, you have to rest fully to then recharge fully, to then be 100% once again. So this is a concept that I think people need to start to remember, that the masculine and the feminine are going to be both necessary for you to create what you want. Mastering discipline is not just about having as much willpower as possible. It's not about having the highest level of will, the highest level of willingness. That's not what discipline is. That's willpower. Having more willpower is not more discipline. Having more discipline is consistency over the long run. Consistency. So it's not about doing one crazy sprint and then you're done for the rest of your life. It's about doing a crazy sprint every single day and then resting in between each one, and doing that for 10 years, for example, or 20 years, or 30 years, or 40 years, right? You might think that's a lot of time. Well, if you can do that, wouldn't you see how you'd become a master? You deserve to be a master. You deserve to have a high level of mastery in that area, because you've put in so much effort and you've also rested when you were exhausted, and you came back and did it again over and over and over and over and over. And so, of course, you deserve to be disciplined. Of course, you deserve to be a master. Of course, you deserve to have a high level skill